stars Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Zac Efron and Alexandra Daddario, amongst a ton of other actors, and is based upon a pretty absurd TV show of the same name. And I remember when I first heard this film was going to be made, I remember thinking that the only way that this would work is if they acknowledged how absurd it was. And after seeing Baywatch, I was pleasantly surprised but also underwhelmed, because this is a pretty funny, enjoyable, dumb film that is extremely self-aware but not super ambitious. Now let's be honest here, I think it's fair to say that this film isn't trying to be Schindler's List or The Godfather or whatever, and it is very self-aware in the fact that it does acknowledge a lot of the absurdities of the series and of the movie. And you know, the opening scene is basically like The Rock walking out in slow motion, carrying a guy. You know it's green screen, like behind him, and like the titles of Baywatch just explode onto the screen. And so once you see that, you kind of know what movie you're in for. And if you don't, then I don't think you're going to enjoy this film, because if you go in expecting not the best film in the world, but something that you can enjoy and have fun with, then you're going to have a really good time, because I kind of did. Now let's talk about the performances, which are by far the best thing about this film. Dwayne Johnson is like amazing in everything. He's The Rock, you know, he's funny in everything, he's incredibly charismatic. So is Zac Efron. I think Zac Efron in a comedic role really does something for me. I think if he's funny, he's really funny, and in this film, he is funny. And out of all the characters, I feel like his was probably the most fleshed out, because he's like this disgraced Olympic swimmer, and he kind of goes through a bit of a character arc, and like I said, he's probably the most well fleshed out, and again, he's very likable. In fact, the entire cast is incredibly likable. You know, when you have a film like this and you cast a ton of attractive people running around in their swimsuits, you'd expect some of them to be these really sort of entitled douchebags, but they're all incredibly likable, and they seem like a really, really nice group of people. Also, the humor in this film works for the most part. I think that there are quite a few jokes that do land, a few that don't land. There's a ton of dick jokes in the film. Like, there's more dick in this film than, like, there's an uncomfortable amount of dick in this film. And that was a bit, yeah. I feel like this film is at its best when it's this fun comedy. And I say that because a lot of the time, the tone kind of shifts a lot. And whenever the villain comes up, it tends to be this really serious action crime thriller film. And it doesn't work, because some of the action in this film is not done well at all. In fact, I feel like every single person who's reviewed this film has said something about the CGI green screen fire, because some of the CGI stuff, some of the green screen is truly pathetic, and if they were purposely doing that to make it look bad so that we would laugh, it didn't work, because all the stuff that was really bad, I'm talking about the green screen stuff, is in the really serious action scenes when they want you to take them seriously. So it doesn't really work, and yes, there is a big tonal conflict. You know, parts of the film is some really fun, enjoyable, sort of raunchy comedy, and then it turns into this weird action film. And you know, I think that it's definitely trying to copy 21 Jump Street, and the only reason 21 Jump Street worked was because the main characters were actually police. They were meant to get into action, and that's actually something that's addressed in this film. You know, the fact that lifeguards shouldn't be going around, you know, solving drug cases and stuff. They should be, well, lifeguards. Zac Efron's character actually says a lot of the times, you know, why don't you just call the police? Why don't you just call the police? And I really liked how self-aware that was. But again, whenever this film gets serious, whenever there's like some action-packed stuff going on, it just doesn't work. And although I do feel that the film has some really nice performances, some really good chemistry from the actors, there is a lack of focus to it, because I just saw the film last night, and I'm finding it quite hard to sort of piece all the like scenes together, and it's just kind of a bit of a mess, both in terms of tone, like I said earlier, and also I don't think it was very cut together very well, because the way that it tells the story isn't that smooth. And also, this is just like a technical flaw I have with the film. The first like 5 minutes, I feel like they color graded that in a really odd way. I don't know if it was just the cinema I was in, but I feel like the rest of the film is just, it looks fine, but then the first 5 minutes, it looks odd. I don't know, maybe that's just me. The film didn't feel very ambitious, because you have such a talented cast and such a talented group of people working on the film, and I just feel like it should have tried to be more than just this sort of fun, guilty pleasure. Because yes, this film does know that it's a bad movie, but I just feel like, you know, again, with the cast, with the amount of talent behind it, they should have tried a little bit more. But Baywatch is a pretty fun, enjoyable film with a really great cast, some really funny performances, but it is a tonal mess, and whenever it tries to be this big action film, it fails completely. And for that reason, I'm going to give Baywatch a C+. Guys, if you go into this film expecting you know, a fun comedy film that isn't the best film, it's kind of a guilty pleasure, yeah, you're gonna enjoy it, because this is probably the first film all summer that is just, you can just go and turn your brain off and have an hour and a half of fun and not really take anything too seriously, and I enjoyed that and I appreciated that film doing this. But anyway guys, as always, thank you for watching. Thank you.